Back to the recession now, and the news that the United Kingdom has hit a double dip would not have come so much of as a surprise to the people of South Wales, where unemployment is up to 25% in some parts. There, the green shoots of recovery have been rarer than hen's teeth. Joe Lynham spent the day in Ebbw and in Bridgend.
Bridgend, home to the inventor of X-raying, supersonic travel and Richard Burton, is doing relatively well compared to the rest of Wales. Nonetheless, this industrial estate still has millions of square foot of unused factory space. Sony moved out a decade ago. It used to make TVs. But instead of that, future growth might come from making biotechnology or life sciences. This firm, conveniently also called Biotech, processes and packages clinical trials for the big pharma giants. It's growing, and the Welsh Government wants to see lots more like them.
It's one of the areas that is going to drive the economy going forward in Wales. The Welsh Government have recently released a £100 million fund into that sector. Wales traditionally has been very strong in terms of research and innovation, and probably not too strong in terms of commercialisation, especially in the biotech sector, in terms of getting the product from research and development to market.
He can get a decent supply of pharmacists or biotechnicians because Bridgend lies in the economically powerful M4 corridor, which stretches from Swansea to Newport. That coastal sliver has the best roads, universities, rail lines and broadband in Wales, meaning these places can attract talent and capital. But further into the valleys, and that attractiveness withers. Blaenau Gwent is the Welsh capital of economic misery. Unemployment stands at a whopping 25%. Employers in the area, like plastics manufacturer PMB, can't compete for wage rises with benefits which go up with high rates of inflation.
One of our guys who came to work here, he said to me, "I've come into work just to remain sane." He said, "The wages you pay me compete with benefits." We've just managed to award our people a pay rise this March, albeit a small one. We gave them a 2% pay rise. And, of course, the answers I got back from the staff were, well, inflation's running higher than that. You know, our gas bills are going through the roof. We can't afford to pay our rates. We can't afford to basically live.
I think we've always been in a recession. That's the general feeling you get from talking to people around the area. There's been signs of, or messages that we might be coming out of it, or just about coming out, but to me, we've always been in it.
So on the ground, the shrinking has continued?
Yes. Absolutely, yeah.
30 years ago, Ebbw was home to one of the largest steel factories in Britain, employing most of the people around here and its hinterland. The steel factory has long since gone, and it's left a legacy of high unemployment, low educational attainment, and even low life expectancy. So given the prospect of creating the kind of jobs that they had 3 decades ago is now long past, are policymakers around here simply in the business of managing decline?
What sort of improvements in connectivity can you invest in to enable people from here to go and have jobs elsewhere in Wales? I mean, at the moment, it takes an hour to get to Cardiff from here. Now, if I was living in the southeast, there would be a fast train journey from here to the centre, which would take about 20 minutes. So we've got to invest in that sort of connectivity if we're going to do the managed decline in terms of making sure that people might live in places, but they might not necessarily work in those places.
The GDP numbers are out today, and they seem to suggest that the construction sector, very closely linked to your business, dragged the UK economy back into recession. How does that play nationally and more locally here in Wales?
I think the construction sector has reined back in, and there has been a significant reduction in the amount of activity going forward. I think you can then look at that in terms of the impact of the public sector cuts, in terms of transport infrastructure, health and education, all starting to come back again. And at the moment, the private sector isn't going forward in that area.
Wales should be well placed to benefit from the rebalancing of the UK economy away from consumption and towards manufacturing. In reality, though, its best hope is to create high-value, low-intensity jobs like biotech. But talent and remoteness don't always go together.
Joe Lynham.